Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Tight Stitch podcast. I am your host, Gianna Tenalia. I am the owner of GT Extension Bar and the founder of GT University and creator of Hand Tied 101. And I help stylists find work-life balance and make more money working less hours. We are canceling the hustle culture and we are making dreams come true. I help stylists find their dream clients on social media and make money while they're not working. So let's get started. Today I'm going to talk about why I would charge more for a hidden bead install. Do you charge the same for a hidden bead install as you do for like a basic install? For a long time, I charged the same. And then I realized, well, it takes me a little bit longer to do a hidden bead install. It's more of a luxury service to have all of your beads hidden. I also feel that not every single person necessarily needs their beads to be hidden. I mean, if you can save your clients a couple bucks, save your clients a couple bucks, but I just don't feel like everyone needs it. But some people do need it and some people do want it, but it does require more effort and it does require more kind of bandwidth and time. So I have to completely disassemble the row and cut every single stitch off. This obviously requires more time and patience. So if I'm having to disassemble the weft each and every time you come in for a move up, that's going to require more time. And it's just time is money. We all know that. Now, sometimes on my standard installs, if everything looks perfect and clean, I will leave the row stitched together. There's really nothing wrong with that. If you can match your beads up and match your sectioning up exactly the way that it was before, and there's no drag and there's no pull, maybe I will unhinge a couple of those stitches at the very end to make sure that it's really clean and flat. But for the most part, if everything can stay intact, I save myself time and I keep it intact, especially if the client was very happy with the placement of where the row was. So another reason why I would charge more is because when I pull apart the row, I need to be more cautious which weft was underneath the bead and which weft was on top of the bead. So if you're not familiar with like a hidden bead, install, the wefts sandwich the bead. So there's at least 4 wefts that are on top of the bead and underneath the bead. So if you mess this up, if you put the left underneath on the top right, your cut is going to look so funky and crazy. With a standard install as well, you do have to be more, a little bit mindful of where your wefts were sitting prior. But especially with the hidden method, I find that if you jig this at all, if you mess this up at all, it screws up your whole cut. You may lose length on the install if you have to, fix the cut. And you just have to be very, very aware, which definitely requires more brain power, obviously. Okay, so my next reasoning behind why I think you should charge more as well for a hidden install, but this is why I charge more for a hidden install, is that it takes me longer. That's it. It takes me longer. It's more intricate and even more customized of a process. So when something is even deeply more customized, it's even more luxury. So being sure that all of the underneath wefts are included in the stitching and being sure that you grasp every single weft and making sure that everything's clean. it just requires more attention, and it requires more effort. Like, for me, it does. So this is my process, and this is how I handle things. You don't have to do the same thing as me, but I just have found hidden beads require more energy, more time, and more attention. So I want to know. I want to hear from you guys. Do you charge more? Do you only do hidden? Do you only do, I call it a standard. A standard row would be if all the wefts would be on top of the beads. And if you flip up the row, you could see the beads underneath, which I have that in my hair. I have no issues. You can never see my beads. I mean, I have just thick enough hair that you really never see my beads. But I have some clients that their hair is so fine that, like, even if they like put their hair behind the ear or something like that, you may be able to see their bead. Or if it had been a couple days since washing, and so forth. So I'm curious, what do you do? Do you charge more? Do you not? Is everything the same across the board? And I'm super interested to hear your take on this. So this was just my perspective on, what I do in my shop and behind my chair, and it's given my clients more options as well. I mean, like I said, not every single person needs to have their beads hidden. So if you do want to be just across the board hidden bead, that's great too. I mean, be more luxury, be the most luxury, and I think that's amazing. So yeah, I'm curious to know. And just for a reference point, I guess you could say,